Just remember, I've got to supply the pipeline barge as well as your rig.
And the rig is running a good second.
Equal.
Donald, the English are leading you into some bad habits.
And what's that?
Smooth talking, and don't try to smooth talk me.
Morning, Frank. Morning, Donald.
I was just coming to see you.
No, well, it wasn't soon enough for me.
Aye, aye, you ride him, he rides me. I ride a 4-7 Gale.
Hey, who's riding you, Jim?
One's flattered. Oh, do allow me.
Miracles. If the company wants miracles, they should call in St. Peter to drill this well, not some roughneck like me.
Well, this is the North Sea, not heaven.
Is that a joke?
Frank, you're not even halfway through yet.
Well, we've hit 4,000 feet.
Not halfway.
Look, 3 months. That was the deal. The deadline was 3 months. We're through the chalk end of the shale.
With the worst of the bad weather yet to come.
Well, nobody knows anything about the weather.
We know the North Sea.
And I've only drilled in mud puddles.
What I'm saying is that we're behind. You're making my schedule look like a winding up petition.
We agreed 3 months.
Yeah, well, you'll never make it, not at this rate.
We'll make it.
But why aren't you drilling faster? I can't make you out, Frank.
From here on in, we can hit gas. You know it. And I know it, even the fish know it. We can't risk her coming up at us. We can't risk a blowout.
Oh, you especially.
That's right, me especially. Because it's my head that they'll chop off, not yours. It's guys like me that are always first to get the chop. Now, we'll do it my way or you can get yourself another board.
Frank, my head's on the block, too. They're not short on executioners.
Did you know I was going to be on this train?
Yes.
Otherwise, you wouldn't have been going to Muirport.
Oh, yes. I've got some Scottish politicians to charm.
Oh, well, that shouldn't be difficult for you. Would you have been on this train?
No. I usually fly.
Oh, do you know, I hate flying. Even the smell of kerosene at Heathrow makes me feel quite ill. I've seen most of the world, but every time I fly, I hate it more. You know, I think I'd have been happier if I'd been born into the horse and carriage age. So, Trefoil knows I'm on my way to Muirport. Well, that's awfully flattering.
Oh, I think you made sure we knew.
You didn't send for me to discuss Match's herring.
Send for you? Good Lord, I wouldn't have such impertinence. I merely suggested you might care to drop in.
Someone in Whitehall doesn't think we're going fast enough.
Ah, well, you'll always get critics. But you're right, there is some concern about schedules. The department is worried.
My company has hundreds of people in London who could keep you posted.
Oh, yes, but then I'd miss my mattress herring. I hear that you're weeks, if not months, behind with your pipeline to the Proven field. And what is even more alarming, that you're less than 4,000 feet down into the exploration well.
Why is that more alarming?
Well, because another company could drill it.
President on. Faster.
Hardly more slowly. They do have a modern rig in the area.
But no one could have got a rig there faster than we did.
Aha, once you decided to move yourselves.
All right. We did take our time getting stuck in. But we're not exactly dangling our toes in the ocean. And President are not exactly weathering the storm. Anyway, it's my board of directors that you should be harassing, not me.
But they know my views.
You want President Oil to take over?
I didn't say that. I didn't say anything like that.
So, lousy day.
Underline lousy.
Well, mostly they are these days.
Yeah. Look, Julie, I don't want an argument. I can't afford the effort.
I don't think you've said 100 civil words to me in 10 days.
So I'm inarticulate then. Runs in the family.
Yes.
Look, I know you're bored out of your wits. You hang around this depressive's paradise all day on your own.
I haven't been on my own today. Shona came over.
How lucky, both of you.
Look, I don't know who or what is bugging you out there, but you do not come home and take it out on me.
Well, it's a good thing. With Shona listening.
She's actually doing a harmless little piece on oil men's wives.
And their broken marriages.
No.
As long as she doesn't talk about me, I don't care.
Not once. Oh,
that's good.
Yes, only once. She wanted to know if you like Scott's oatcakes.
That's all.
Yes. They have the rest.
What rest?
It was something Shona said, so I asked her. And yes, darling, they have a piece about you. It's all set up.
Go on.
Venezuela.
As I said, Gallagher, it's just a small request.
Odd.
I'm sorry?
For a merchant banker, it's usually the other way around.
Topsy-turvy world, isn't it? I hear you've written something about our American friend. The one running Nelson One. I'd like to read it.
But it hasn't been published.
Yes, of course, I realize that. It's not libelous.
I'd never publish it if it was.
But you're not publishing it.
Well, now's not the time.
When will that be? When you will publish?
Maybe next week. The week after. Hopefully never. It'll all depend how they treat our country and our sea.
Yes, I've heard you're hot on conservation.
I'm hot on Scotland.
Yes. Well, may I read your material about Ward?
No.
What do you mean, no?
Nobody vets my paper, neither politicians, nor councillors, or bankers. Now, you can find out for yourself about Frank Ward. I mean, your bank is 30% of the Triumph block, and you're virtually paying a third of his salary.
Oh, yes. I can find out all right. Just wanted to save time, that's all. Well, thank you.
I do hope you didn't come all the way from Edinburgh just for this.
No, I certainly did not.
Ward. Frank Ward.
Yes, I have heard the name.
American.
Aren't they all?
Well, it's all here if you'd like to,
What the devil's that?
Proof. Gallagher's paper.
That local rag.
It's worth a glance.
Surprises me he let you have it.
He didn't.
Put it away. And summarize.
Ward was in charge of drilling off Venezuela. They were in a hurry.
Who isn't, by God?
Let me tell you what happened.
It was a blowout.
He polluted the Venezuelan coast for hundreds of miles.
And he put the Venezuelan fishing fleet out of business, and they ran him out of the country.
Oh, you knew?
It's one of the classic blowouts. Oh, they're bound to happen. I didn't know this fellow Ward was behind it.
Yeah. Well, I have an idea.
It's plain as a North Sea flare-off what your devious banker's mind's up to. You're twitching because you could lose money on the Triumph block, and you want us to come in their place. We've been all...
But President Oil hadn't lost interest.
No. We want that block, John. We think there's 200,000 barrels a day under the rig, And it links like men and women with our present field. We have a modern rig handy. We're the better outfit. But you try telling the government that.
Well, that's just it. I thought you might.
We're pigeon-toed lobbying.
Well, it could be time to try again. The government's sweating. They've got Wayman up here again, breathing hard into Triumph's ears.
He only comes up for the fish.
He is twisting Triumph's arm.
Now you're giving away company secrets. You're either being indiscreet or mischievous. And you couldn't be indiscreet.
Help yourself. For some food.
Yeah, come on.
Charles. You'd still buy out our interest,
If we could get Triumph out, we'd buy out your interest. We'd get you off the hook.
Good, good. You know, Charles, the government would never risk a major blowout in the North Sea. The Scottish coast fouled up, fish poisoned. They could never live with that one.
So what are you saying?
You talked to Wayman about Ward's record.
I don't know Ward's record. You do. Besides, Wayman and I are not brothers under the skin. I detest government snoopers, and he senses it.
If you talked about a major blowout...
Triumph hasn't got one yet.
And then bring up our American friend...
It'd come better from you. After all, you have some responsibility. 30% of the block. To be a sacrifice on your part? In the public interest?
Yes, that's true.
I don't think you're good news for Mr. Ward.
Should we speed up the drill?
No.
I'm only talking about 125 revs.
I said no.
We're down almost to 35 feet a day.
We were. That's not up to date.
Well, why not? It should be.
Well, it's yesterday. It doesn't take in yesterday, and we picked up yesterday.
That much? How much?
We picked up. Look, I might want to run casing before we drill much further. There's no gas in the mud, is there?
No.
Let's have a peek all the same.
Are you staying the night, then?
Oh, no thanks, Jackie.
Right.
I don't know.
The weather's a bit dodgy.
That pilot's in a hurry for home and mother.
That pilot's an old woman.
Come in. Oh, Mr. Irving. How good of you to call.
A courtesy call, that's all, Wayman. I heard you were north of the
Oh,
border.
it's such a terrible evening, too. It's quite bitter outside.
Thanks for the lift. Do me a favor, huh? Get off my back.
I'll let you alone when the drill is 10,000 feet down and not before.
I told you. That shale might be overpressured, and I want to go in slowly. Now, it's either that, or we stop right now and set casing.
I doubt if your previous tool pusher would have agreed with that.
McGraw. McGraw's gone, isn't he?
With your knife in his back. Look, if we get scared at the first sign of a bubble, we'll be called chicken all over the North Sea.
At least I won't be the one that turns it into the Dead Sea.
You sleeping all right?
Yeah, like a baby.
I don't believe you. Now, take my tip. Forget Venezuela.
You want to come in for a quick drink?
Oh, I'd love to. I've still got some papers. When you get back to the big city with all your bright new notions of how to improve our lot up here, advise them to send us a psychiatrist.
Hmm?
Oh, never mind.
You sound as though you could do with a rest.
Somebody else.
Well, anyway, company's doing you proud. Even the chairman doesn't run to a kitchen in his office.
Oh, you've been checking up on me, have you?
You can hardly miss a fully equipped kitchen.
Hard living perks.
No wonder you prefer the front line.
Well, what about the chairman and that penthouse of his? Straight out of the Arabian Nights.
I know.
Oh, come on, drink up. I'll take you out to dinner.
Oh, I thought I'd cook something here. I'm cordon bleu with omelettes.
What are you trying to do? Make me egg bound?
It's that kitchen.
Well, I said I'd give you dinner.
Oh, there was just one thing.
I'm famished.
There was a call for you just before you came in.
Well, Frank Ward.
Our man from the ministry.
Wayman.
He wanted you to call as soon as you got back. He'd like to meet this evening.
For a 9-to-5 bureaucrat, his timing is diabolical. Give me half an hour.
I'm a bit hungry.
Half an hour.
See you tomorrow.
Half an hour.
Come in. Ah, Mr. Fraser. I do hope I didn't spoil your dinner.
Not my dinner, no.
I don't make a habit of urgency. It's so bad for the digestion. However, my masters do feel there could be more speed. And I must say I find this latest information rather disturbing. One realizes, of course, it's rather easy to find scapegoats.
But that's just what you're doing.
Well, I mean, who chose this man, Ward?
Well, not my company, not Triumph, I mean. The rig owners hired him.
Yes, but you're the charterers. Triumph calls the theme tune.
Heaven sent, isn't it?
I don't follow.
Well, you want President All to take over that block. You want us off. So any old scandal will do to whip up into a crisis of confidence.
Do you like this man, Ward?
Well, personally?
Is there another way?
Well, he's a good pro.
Well, I doubt if the Venezuelan authorities gave him a very glowing reference.
I wouldn't know.
Oh, come now, Fraser. He turned their coast into a treacle pot.
I should be careful.
I'm sorry?
That's a big allegation.
It was a big mess.
Well, what are you saying? Are you telling me to fire Ward?
I'm a mere civil servant. It's no part of my brief and not within my competence to try and give you advice on your choice of personnel.
No, not openly.
I mean, if you've got confidence in this man. And, of course, he has been under pressure to get things done quickly, as he was in Venezuela.
Well, what are you saying? Are you advising me to get rid of him? I don't like being clobbered by Whitehall.
What strange ideas you have about civil servants.
Well, now we're very close to 1984.
Now, I was just asking myself whether it was in your best interests to employ such a man in such a key position, the key position, on such a, shall we say, critical exploration well?
Well, that didn't sound like asking.
Well, never mind.
It sounded like an ultimatum.
Never mind the sound. Just weigh the meaning. Now, I don't want to bore you on the decline and fall of this once great nation. But the truth is we are beginning to look like those frayed wrecks in Carey Street. And I, for one, have no intention of seeing us reduced to queuing behind starving Asians in the world's soup kitchen. If we know our brains from our backsides, we'll go like hell. And not look on the North Sea bed as somewhere to lay our heads. And I tell you this, Fraser, the next balance of payments will call for an even louder rattling of the national begging bowl. The trouble is that those who toss in the pennies look to see some signs of self-help. In the words of the junkie, they think that a fix of North Sea oil in our veins will bring us alive. Well, I share that view. government needs some good news from this watery desert. It needs someone to complete this new pipeline. Someone like you and Triumph. It needs someone to confirm a new field. Someone like you and Triumph. But soon.
But the whole civil service couldn't get out a thimble full of oil in a year. Ward is worth 10,000 civil servants.
No doubt.
I don't know what you're saying. That he'll mess up the whole thing, that he'll be panicked into another blowout?
On the contrary. His experience will make him cautious and slow.
Well, if the lights are at amber, I wouldn't blame him.
Yes, but we've all got a vested interest in seeing the lights at green.
Who put the poison in?
Oh. Oh, you should know better than ask that. The Official Secrets Act. Would you, care for a drink?
No, thanks. You don't care who drowns, do you? So long as it isn't some civil servant with a pension for a life jacket.
My father died at 57, and my grandfather at 58. So it's odds against my living long enough to enjoy my pension. Oh, but I should hate to drown. So undignified. Owen Fraser, I'd like to see this man, Ward.
I'm sorry. I'm truly, truly sorry.
I thought you didn't want to talk.
That's that other guy. 5 minutes ago, that other guy. You were telling me about Bill and Grace.
And you closed your eyes and said you weren't even listening.
Is it just being objectionable?
But you heard?
Yes. They've rented an apartment in Nice with room for 10. There's only 4 of them with the kids, and we're welcome.
Big ears.
Julie, call them and tell them we'll accept.
You feeling all right?
Let's go to Nice.
Oh, yes, lovely. We can't leave this job for months.
I'll give you odds.
Oh, you don't know what you're saying.
Julie, I'm throwing in the sponge. And they can use it to mop up the lousy North Sea. I mean it, sweetheart.
Oh, I've heard all that before. You must have had a bad day.
Call Nice.
You don't mean it. I've heard you threaten to divorce Oil so many times.
Well, that demanding bitch has had it. Let's go to the pub.
You don't mean it.
Let's go to the pub. We'll have a drink, then we'll phone Nice. Don't. Peaceful coexistence.
Are your ears burning?
Oh, they're worse than town gossips. Forget them. How long would you like to stay in France?
Till someone begs you to come and suck oil out of some sea or other, or this lot say come home all is forgiven.
Well, you don't waste any time, do you, Cormac?
Now, a second of honest drinking time, sir.
We should try to get you on a rig that's exempt from the dry room.
That wouldn't do for you now, would it?
Then you might have a couple and fall off.
I said that wouldn't do for you.
I heard what you said.
I mean, nobody wants a blowout, least way you. We'd all be right up Loch Lomond. I mean, what happened in Venezuela should not happen to a haddock.
You better beat it. You beat it.
I thought you Yanks were all for straight talk. What you say you mean. Now, listen. I am the one who put money, good money on you. I said you wasn't responsible. But
Beat
that's
it,
what.
Cormac.
I'm just being social. Now, lady, can I get you a drink?
No, thank you.
Get lost.
Darling, let's go.
No. Not yet. Not just yet.
I hope you won't be any more trouble.
Better not be.
I get you a drink.
No. We're just leaving. Come on, John.
Monterey?
Yeah, hello. This is Frank. Is everything okay?
It's fine, Frank. I'd have called you if it wasn't. You know the time?
Oh, it's around 3.
When man's at his lowest. I should get some kip.
What?
Sleep.
Oh. There's no gas, no oil traces, is there?
Yeah, nothing to speak of.
Well, what does that mean?
Well, you always get some gas when you're into the shale.
What's the penetration rate?
9 feet an hour.
That's up.
Marginally. It's been stable the last few hours.
Are the bags and rams okay?
What?
The blowout preventers.
Yes, they're okay.
All right. All right. Good night.
Morning.
You've been fixing our flights to Nice.
Yeah.
Liar.
Get some kip. No wonder you write such garbage. Garbage breeds garbage.
Mr. Ward, I'm busy. I've got a paper to get out.
Who are you knocking now? What's that article you're going to publish on me? How come you haven't published it? Publish it! Instead of scraping around this dump, whispering behind your hand all day. You're supposed to be an editor, not a gossip.
I don't know what you're on about.
Venezuela. Venezuela and me. And this trash. This trash is what I'm talking about.
Now, it may give you some satisfaction to tear up my paper, but it won't do you any good.
What do you know about Venezuela? What do you know about oil? Have you ever been out of this stinking dump?
You don't have to be a jet setter to know about pollution.
Leave him alone!
All right, fella! Mr. Ward, whatever's troubling you, you won't find the answer in here. but with your own people.
Yeah, well, I've tried his home, and I've tried the rig. OK, I'll hold. Thanks.
Without.
Oh, thanks. I like your coffee.
In working hours.
Hmm?
Oh, never mind. Forget it.
Oh, look, about the weekend, Yeah? He took a helicopter. Went to Edinburgh. OK, thanks. Now, where were we? Oh, yeah, weekend.
I wouldn't mind staying.
Yes, but, you have to get back to the big bosses in the metropolis, don't you?
I suppose so, but it's not what you might call imperative.
Oh, I can't, Elaine. It's just not possible.
Oh, so fine. You'll be wherever you are, and I shall be on the 8:30 from Aberdeen to Heathrow.
Loosen the handcuffs a bit, will you? They're beginning to pinch. No, I would like to. I really would.
Now, look, don't patronise. It was just an idea. Must be this liberating North Sea air. I just don't fancy being cooped up in Bayswater.
Our North Sea connection mustn't so consume us that we neglect opportunities under our noses.
But we are still locked in with triumph.
But we are wriggling like Houdini.
Which one of you is Irvin? I want a word with you. Privately. No, don't do that.
It's all right, Sergeant.
Look, I'm pushed for time.
Now, who are you and what do you...
Ward, Frank Ward.
Well, perhaps we might break for coffee.
You've been showing an interest in my career. Triumph rig.
Ah, yes, we have £600,000 in that venture. I'm sure you'll justify our confidence.
You've been asking around about me. You lie. You're a liar as well.
As well?
As well as a muck spreader.
I, did make one or two necessary inquiries, but I can think of others with a far greater vested interest in you.
It's you. You, Irvin, that's been spreading all that sewage about my past. You.
Oh, about Venezuela, you mean? Oh, I only heard about it this past day or two, since our man from the ministry came up with his Whitehall whip. He comes up here every now and again to twist our arms. Oh, yes. Now, he can be very alarming. His name's Wen.
John, morning. You haven't seen anything of my drilling superintendent, have you?
Your unquiet American. He left here a little while back.
Well, what on earth did he want with you?
Combat. A very disturbed gentleman on some stupid mission to unsully his name. Now, I would say that he is a bad case of North Sea nerves.
Do you, happen to know where he was going?
Back to the land of the cowboys.
Yes, Mr. President. He left a few minutes ago. I've no idea where he was going.
Of course, I've heard of it. But I've more than enough to do without tittle-tattling about the experiences of a rig superintendent in Venezuela or the darker side of your curriculum vitae. I am a civil servant, Ward, a British one. Didn't you know that we're weaned on the milk of official secrecy?
And how come, Wayman, that you're such a fat cat in oil for a civil servant?
I mean, we could hardly leave such a treasure chest to the pirates.
Pirates? Is that what you think of us, pirates?
No, I was exaggerating.
Like you did about me?
Well, look, shouldn't you be out on that rig?
No, because I'm through. Finished. Free. I have one or two scores to settle. Right, and then they can have the whole lousy outfit. So you explore for oil in a carpeted office in London, huh?
Like the generals back at base. Well, one does come to the front line as often as one can.
The front line. The front line is out there. About 110 miles out there. General. Have you ever been on a rig?
Good day, Mr. Ward. It's been a pleasure.
I could take you out there right now.
I thought you were through with all that.
I am. Last time for me, first time for you. I can have you back in 3 hours. Right, because you're always the one that's complaining that we're going too slow, aren't you? I'd like to show you why. All right. On the other hand, if it got out that you were chicken.
Very well.
You are insured.
Oh, yes. Comprehensively, my dear chap.
Oh, you won't need that.
Ah. But it gives one a feeling of security. You mind? I'd much prefer to go by sea.
That would take a whole day.
Okay. Not yet, Mr. Ward.
What do you mean, not yet?
Orders. I got in touch with Mr. Fraser. He said to wait.
Seems steady enough.
It's fine.
Yeah. What was our drilling rate during the night?
I think he's forgotten you're here.
Yes. Some host.
Well, that's great. We've picked up. We're down to 4,600 feet now. That's great. But I still may want to run casing.
Well, I thought we could give it another few hundred feet.
Yeah, okay.
It's a combination of the smell of oil and the sea, I think. It does rather upset my stomach.
Ready, Frank? Mr. Wayman wants to get back.
I think I'll hang around for a while. Goodbye, Wayman. I hope you enjoyed it.
Oh, yes. Yes, immensely.
Hello? Oh, darling, hello.
Hello. Julie, I should be home sometime tomorrow.
Will you want lunch, dinner, or what?
Well, anything will do. And, I hope you haven't done too much packing.
I didn't even get the suitcases out. See you whenever.
I don't see why you're staying. It's hardly a vote of confidence in me. Like you had none in McGraw, so he went.
McGraw went because he wasn't up to it. Drop your ego for a while, Mulder. We're into shale, and these aren't liars.
The shale factor's fine.
I've got something in my gut about this one. I didn't want to say anything when that fat cat was aboard, but...
But you've got a twitch.
Right. I believe these. More than I believe tool pushers. Even if we'd had a couple of drinks together and they're nice guys.
Thank you.
Well, you just tell that driller to wrap up if there's a penetration braid. And circulate bottoms up.
Right, Frank, baby, you do the job. I've had enough of you. You've been on my back all day. Now, what's all this panic about, eh?
Jack, come on. Come on. Huh? Sit down. Have a cup of coffee. There was another time when I was all for staying on board, running casing right away. There was this fat cat on board who was vice president of the company. And he was pushing me like crazy to drill on without casing. He got me to this dinner party ashore. I was all for saying no dice. But my tool pusher, he swore blind that he had it under control, so I left him to it. It's a little like now. I was into the best duck l'orange you ever did see when the break came. By the time I was into the crepe Suzette, she'd blown. And I wasn't even told about it till I was having a cigar over brandy. But what a blowout.
Venezuela.
Venezuela. Jack, that oil gushed like it was coming out of the devil's own glue pot. And I don't know how many millions of fish died. The environment people threw up their hands. The ecologists, the wildlife people, they howled. But none of them were more upset than I was, not one of them. I flew down the coast in a chopper. It was horrible. It was like the end of the earth for seabirds. Guillemots, razorbills, terns. And they were all gummed up in that muck.
But you wanted to run casing. How could it be your fault?
It was my rig.
But you weren't even there.
But I should have been. So I'm staying aboard till kingdom come if need be. And tomorrow we run casing for sure. I'm going to get some air.
Now, if Fraser agrees, if Triumph agree, we move immediately. Sir Charles could have President Oil's rig en route tomorrow.
What about government approval?
All we need is the nod from Wayman. Oh, Jim, hello. I think you know everyone.
Well, I didn't know the first team was playing.
Finance, investment, policy...
Legal.
And...
I can sniff out a lawyer if I am.
Anyway, I knew you wouldn't mind.
But I do mind. I came to talk to you, not half of Edinburgh.
Oh. Well, in that case, gentlemen, if you don't mind.
We did say this would be unofficial, off the record.
That's so it would have been.
Well, that posse.
No doubt you've consulted your board about this meeting?
Our president still keen to take over our field?
Keen is hardly the word. They're not averse.
I'd say they couldn't wait.
They'd get quick results.
What makes you so sure?
Oh, come on, Jim. They've got a modern rig. And their drilling superintendent didn't pollute an ocean. Everybody knows about Ward.
Yes, well, I'm not surprised. He's a bit of a showman.
Aggressive, impulsive.
Responsible, conscientious.
A public relations menace.
And something else out in that rig. You could sack him to the sound of trumpets.
It would be a gesture.
And that means the president get the oil and we don't.
Never mind, we're still partners, aren't we?
Ah, but we shall get that oil.
Oh, that's shallow thinking.
No, selfish. I want that oil for my company. And we're in it together, whether you like it or not. But you don't.
You leave me no alternative. I shall have to see your board in London tomorrow.
Well, tomorrow's Friday.
They all go home after their expense account luncheons. Life is hard down there.
Well, they'll stay for me. Jim, we could do a deal, surely. I mean, the two of us.
Oh, sharp. I'm not exactly a business virgin, but no way.
So you'll recommend that you carry on drilling under the present agreement?
No. I shall tell them.
They give you more rope than is good for them.
Well, that's not what they think.
And what about Ward?
He stays.
As long as you manage to.
That's a very nasty way of putting it.
Well, it's down a bit. You could turn in.
No, I'm not sleepy, Jack. Why don't you get some kip?
All right.
Yeah. And I think we will run Kaysen tomorrow. Definitely. Kelland, get that bit off the bottom.
Right. Shut down the pump, close the bag preventer.
Increase the back pressure to 200 pounds per square inch. And increase the mud weight by 4 points. Get that heavier mud in.
Trains. I hate them, I hate them.
Oh, don't be silly. How can you hate a train?
Well, I do.
Well, you're still working.
I should have flown.
Well, you're a career girl. Anyway, I want to know what sort of a tail he takes back with him.
My goodness, twice lucky.
No. This time I looked for you.
Ah, that's quite marvelous. I hope everything turned out all right last night.
Oh, yes. The North Sea is safe for now. Thanks to Proudfoot.
And Ward.
Oh, yes. Him, too.